Well, hello. Right, Doctor Who tonight. Right, is everything on? Everything is on. Right, we're on. Doctor Who tonight was a bit of a strange one. I don't know what to make of tonight's episode, really. Well, I mean, after last week, last week was a bit of a mind blower, wasn't it? You know, and this week it seemed a bit. Well, it started off good, and then it became a bit lame somewhere. Yeah, I'm not going to go into what PC-isms of it because obviously there will have been people that would have probably got very annoyed with it tonight. Do you know what I mean? But it was all right. I was losing interest. I've got to admit. You know, it's how do you say it? It was just a bit. I don't know. It just seemed a bit bad. So let's see who we've got on. I'm not getting the. Right. I'm on now, guys. It's on. Right. Hello, everybody. Right. Jacob. Hi. Hello, Jacob. Thank you for joining the stream. What did you think to tonight's episode? Hi, Shockwave. Alien Plastic. Yeah, the episode was plastic. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't like last week where last week we got totally blown apart, didn't we, last week? But tonight it's just. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm gonna say I thought tonight's episode was shit. I'm sorry for language, but it was just. I'm trying to I don't know, work out any positivity in it, you know. Hi, Retro Gamer Dev, how are you, bud? Good to see you back again. Hope you had a good New Year and Christmas. I know it's February, but, you know, I hope everything's well. Weren't very good creatures. No, it was a bit of a cop-out, wasn't it? I think there'll have been a few people tonight kicking the table over. I think it was, some people will have said it was very PC. I mean, I'm not going to go down that path, but I mean, they were getting in the microplastics message, you know, about the environment and all that one there. They were really going down that path with it. Jacob, hi Jacob. Please no big spoilers. I'm watching in a different country. Well, I'll try not to, bud. But we've all seen it. But after last week's episode, it's been a bit of a letdown. I'm trying to Shockwave. And did you see the next time episode trailer? Oh, is it Slovene? All right. Well, they're trying to get the classics in there, aren't they? Slovene, aren't they? I mean, they messed them up, didn't they, years ago? I mean, we got after last week. You know, we were on here last week screaming about the excellence of last week, and this week it's just been absolutely terrible. Yeah, I saw the hand at the end, Shockwave. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It reminded me of old style Doctor Who, you know, with the creepy monsters, you know, with the big arms, and they did all the weird hand stuff back then, and Doctor, you know, and all that. Hang on, WG. Oh, really? It's probably the second best episode of the set. Really? Why? I want to impress with tonight's episode. I just felt. I get the environmental message. I really do, but I found it lacking. I found story for it quite weak as well. There were just some things that they could have done without. I mean, it was like like they tried to get the Birds vibe. You remember the film, the Birds? They tried to get that sort of vibe with it, didn't they? And I mean, I like the concept of using Earth as a petri dish. That way, they could have done something with that. But I just think where it all went, which is rather lame. Retro Gamer Dev. Despite the peace element, what else is bothering me is, hi, I'm the doctor. My child is going to time spare 6 episodes and over kid. Where we're going next? Well, she's probably on budget cuts. Well, I don't think did they say they must have gone abroad then. Well, I can't see him flying them out to Madagascar. I mean, unless that was a CGI background, you know. But I just feel it was a bit of a letdown tonight. I'm into environmental message. I get that, but I don't know. It just, I just felt a bit let down after last week. I knew they couldn't keep the bar up. I knew it. Jacob E. yeah, I think you're right there, bud. WJ. I mean, the rest says there's been a lackluster over the last few episodes. Yes, yeah. I enjoyed the 2-parter when it started, but that only got carried because that master, didn't it? Really, and Gallifrey being destroyed. But how many times has Gallifrey been destroyed now? We seem to get this every couple of years now. You know, Time Lords are being wiped out, but then suddenly mysteriously return again. You know. Oh, how do you do, the husband? Hello, good people of the earth. Yes, good people of the earth. How are you? Trying to watch the episode. Yeah, well, let me know if I'm still on. Let me know. I don't think I'm going to be going back to that. I watched Star Trek Picard on Friday, and that was a masterpiece of television. It truly was. It truly was. Jade, anytime, bud, you know that. I'm saying it's better than Orphan 55. Really? I'd sort of put it up there with that. To me, this episode was a sequel, where they went, where Earth in the future. Was that Orphan 55? The episode where they're in that holiday camp and it's on Earth and there's all them like creatures running about. That to me was like a prequel to that. It's like you could put them 2 episodes together and there's a connection. Retro Gamer Dev. My argument is I get the issue of climate and environment. Yeah, I say me. Etc. And I catch the news. For that, I watch the Doctor and others to escape life's problems. Do you know, bud, you have made a really good point there. You have made a really good point because that's the one thing it's lacking, isn't it? Look, I'm all up for having messages and stuff, but there's a way of going about it. And sometimes, it's Sunday night, it's back to grindstone tomorrow and you just like your last night, weekend, you just want to sort of chill out and escape, you know what I mean? Enjoy your Sunday night. And it was a bit in your face, wasn't it, tonight's episode? I mean, I might give it another watch, I don't know. Maybe it's second time, it'll be all right. But it is episode 5, and we've had sort of 2 bad episodes. Well, it is episode 5, isn't it? So we've got 5 episodes to go. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's Levine next week, it should be interesting, where this is going to go. But again, I mean, I watched Star Trek Picard on Friday, right? And I'm going to watch it tonight. And, they didn't do any of that tonight. What you saw in Doctor Who, there was none of that tonight. They got on with the story of Star Trek Picard. Do you know what I mean? And there will be an overall message in the background somewhere when the series pans out. But tonight, it just don't compare. I'm sorry to say, it does not compare at all. Osman, I'm having a real hard time getting to new Doctor. I really want to, but something about it just shuts me down. I'm sort of slipping in and out with it, but I sort of get with it, and then it just lets you down. Do you know what I mean? The thing is, there is people out there that can write this better. Do you know what I mean? There is people that can take this franchise and turn it into something decent again. But tonight's episode was just, well, it was just awful. Hi, Copeland, how are you, bud? Hi, Marty. This was episode 6. What did you think? I thought it was awful. I mean, it had its moment. It started off being very interesting. You know, it would I'd say about 25, about 20, just over 25 minutes. It sort of went up its own arse quite a bit after that. You know, I sort of got into it for quite a while. And then it just went up its own backside. It really did. You know, and I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh. I just couldn't get into this week's episode. You know, I really couldn't. I'm trying, I'm going over it now in my head. Retro Gamer Dev. Retro Gamer Dev, sorry. I've watched episodes of Star Trek Picard despite the negative comments I've heard. I actually really enjoyed it. I did, mate. I've noticed now on the internet, a lot of people pan stuff before it starts. You know, they like start panning it, you know, before it starts. And I don't listen to that anymore. I've got to see it for myself. But I mean, Star Trek Picard, we're 2 episodes in, and it blows this out of the water. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the writing for Star Trek Picard, I mean, 2 episodes better than the old Star Trek bloody Discovery, but I do like Discovery. I've got to admit, I like Star Trek Discovery is just insane. It's bonkers, and that's why I like it, because you haven't got a clue where it's going, and I like it for that. Totally messed up the continuous Star Trek, but hey, it's Star Trek, innit? Osman, no CBS All Access, so no Picard. But Osman, the first episode is on YouTube to watch for free to entice you in to buy it off CBS. Yeah. I'm sure there is places out there where you can watch it, you know. Copeland, it was okay. I'm on the fence with this one. I was sort of on the fence, and last half an hour just couldn't be bothered with it. Honestly, I'd rather just go off and do something else. Hello, Gary from Leeds. How are you? Yes, it was shit. Yeah. Well, people have been straight about it tonight, aren't they? Yeah. You know, I'm not impressed with this at all. Osman, want more. Osman, all about the money. Yeah, but it's us, the British people, are paying for this out of the bloody TV license, you know. Are you going to watch the Sonic movie? I don't know. It's that was an interesting one, because when they released the trailer, it really got panned how Sonic looked. But didn't they release a second trailer and improved on it? So I might be sort of tempted, you know. I was at Retro Game. I was happy that Patrick Stewart has invited Whoopi, but definitely. If they put the old next gen cast in there for me, I'll be very happy. You know, when you put Picard on, it's like having an old friend in the house. You know, every time I see him, I just relate to it straight away. You know, I just feel that it would just. It's like having an old bud back. You know. Get it too right. Okay, yeah, definitely, and I agree. Where can I find the episode, Jacob? Yeah, of Picard. Well, apparently it was on Facebook. I don't know if they're still doing it. They might have pulled it, but I think over the weekend they shoved the first episode on YouTube to watch, and that's to entice you in, you know, to sign up to the subscription service. Look, I shouldn't be saying this. It might be just go and put Locker. It might be on there. But I don't condone that. But, you know, it will be somewhere. I'll pass on Sonic, wait for it to come out on regular TV. Yeah, I'm thinking about going to say, is it Harley Quinn this way? Well, I don't know. I was going to go see the Birds of Prey. The Emancipation of Harley Quinn. I don't really know if I'm going to bother going to see it this week. Like I said, I might just wait for it and just get it on the internet because I just can't bother. I'm not into paying like 12, 13 quid into the cinema. I mean, they're making Matrix 4 now. I mean, good God, I mean, Matrix bloody 4. Look, I just feel a bit down. I mean, I watched Doctor Who last week, and last week, all right, there's been a lot of controversy about Doctor Who. I like Doctor Who. And I did discuss this in the podcast about maybe with Copeland that when we discussed it about maybe the original Doctor, William Hartnell, there might have been another 12 regenerations before that. And then he had his mind erased. I mean, you don't know, do you? I mean, they can do anything. I mean, Doctor Who can. It's not exactly a straight line, is it? You know? Oh, yeah, have you seen it? Yeah, I picked it up today, actually. Yeah, I bought the cane, yeah. It's too tall, actually. It's too tall for me. I got a Malfoy's cane that turns into a wand. It's a movie replica. I'm looking at it now, actually. It is really nice. But I don't think I'll be walking about with it outside. WJ, yeah, I think it's a filler episode. Well, that's what normally happens, isn't it? You get that amazing episode that's going to satiate your appetite, that you're hungry for more. Really like, roll on next week. And then when you get next week's episode, it's a massive come down, you know. And tonight's episode, it scored 2. Whereas last week, you're talking it scored 5. That's the difference between tonight's episode. But maybe, I think that this series is going to start from episode 7. No, not to 8. Because there'll be the 2-parter like final and the pre-one before 8. So maybe like I'd say by episode 8 that the build-up to the old Gallifrey Master, who is the Doctor and what is the Timeless Child, that all this is going to build. But it's a lot to put in 3 episodes. So, but I think the start of the story arc last week, that's now the Master and last week's episode have now defined it. I know it's a Cybermen in it in the final 2-parter apparently. Jacob James Mingled, so you can watch it via Amazon. Yeah, you can. You can watch it on Amazon. Honestly, Star Trek Picard's marvellous. I'm just blown away. I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm looking forward to actually sitting down and watching both episodes again. The Osman, someone could make some good coin if they offer one subscription service that includes all of the streaming services. Yeah, it would be good. I'd pay for that. I think that'd be pretty cool, actually. You know, I mean, you get Discovery on Netflix, and then you get Picard on Amazon. I'm not paying for CBS, and I'm not paying for Disney streaming channel. You know, the joke is, Osman, you know, The Mandalorian, which is a masterpiece of TV, it really is. You know, The Mandalorian with Baby Yoda, and the whole thing of it is that everybody in UK has seen it, and we're not getting it officially till March, and everybody's seen it. It just appears on the computer. You know, it's crazy, isn't it? But yes, tonight's episode a major letdown. Well, like you said, maybe next week's, maybe we'll start building up. Maybe we needed this after last week. You know, that sort of that. It's like that, ain't it? We've peaked, and then now we're going down. Now we're going down, then up again. You know, so it's sort of like maybe we needed that. I mean, last week's were a mind blower. I mean, I loved last week. Osman, Mandalorian. Oh yeah, so it's Picard. Yeah, Mandalorian is gold standard, but I agree. I mean, I love Mandalorian. I really did. I'm looking for. I know they're holding back the Obi-Wan series now, aren't they? Because rewrites. But I think I'm looking forward to the Darth Maul series, actually. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, tonight's episode of Doctor Who. I mean, it's... I know we've mentioned the environmental message. I get that. I really do get the environmental thing. But it's just a story that ran around. It was just lame. I mean, about this like plastic eating disease from outer space, and you know, I thought when you mentioned Autons, I sort of my interest peaked. I thought, could it be now the Autons? I'd rather have had the Autons tonight. I did like when they vaporised into dust, though. That was sort of interesting. But they did try going all sort of Alfred Hitchcock, didn't they, with the birds, didn't they? Retro Gamer, I'm hoping the government will push harder on their plans to scrap the licence fee. It has no place in today's age. If this is what the BBC is all they can do. I think the BBC needs to not, stop knocking the politics as well. I really do. They just need to start getting on with some decent bloody science fiction. I mean, it's been a disaster, hasn't it? War at Worlds were absolute crap. I mean, it was. I mean, did you watch it? I sat every Sunday for an hour each way. I watched 1 hour and it was crap. I was in my local supermarket. I saw it on Blu-ray. I thought, 20 quid. I thought, I'm not paying that for that. It was crap, wasn't it, War at Worlds? And then we got the big alien reveal, and that made it even worse. I'm sick at BBC. It's just all they're doing is crap now. Look, they just want to stick to crap they make during day, because me at BBC have finished. Osman, the Clone Wars is going to... Oh, yeah, I know. What a masterpiece, bud. Have you seen all the other seasons? They're spectacular, aren't they? They're better than films at Clone Wars. Why say Callum Games? I tonight was the guest baseman and the policeman of the plastic pollution eco lecture. Knew it's going to be an eco lecture when I see the rubbish line everywhere start of the episode. I did wonder that, but it was a bit. There will have been some people tonight that will have kicked tables over with tonight's episode. I try not to get into the politics of these episodes. I try to avoid it. But sometimes you do get over PCism, don't you? You do. And so you do. And, just want a bloody just want a science fiction story. Do you know what I mean? I want to escape for that. I want to escape for like an hour, Today is my son. So it begins. Osman, really? War of the Worlds tanks? It did, but it was absolutely terrible. It was terrible. It was an insult to the story of it. It really was that bad. And we paid for that, the BBC. Did not need the gum sucking. Oh, I've got to be biased. I have to be biased. But yeah, I bet there were some tables being kicked over tonight. Oh. W&G fan, one thing I can prove this episode is if the team was more separated throughout the whole thing. WG, I think they should get rid of some at the team. I really do. I think Ryan should go. I think they should get rid of him and Yaz. And, I like Bradley Walsh's character. I forgot his name now. I like Bradley Walsh, but he don't seem to be doing much in it as much now. I'm still trying to live over at Laser. Do you remember the Laser shoes? Hi Jude, how are you? It had potential, but it had bland characters, a dull, unoriginal storyline, and lacked any tension. You've just said what I thought. Totally agree. I totally agree with that. I think that is, if you're going to write a review on that episode, that is what you put. Bland characters. I mean, did you see the bit where the two girls where her girlfriend got vaporized by the Praxeus disease, and then she teamed up with the two fellas, the police guy and the astronaut. She said, "Can I travel with you sometime and come with you?" She could be a future companion, couldn't she? You know, for the next series, because they will change the companions in next series, I should think. I think that, I mean, they might end up killing some of these off. I mean, you don't know, do you? You know, hang on. Retro Gamer Dev. I think Twitter used watch different episodes tonight. 55 is trending and praising tonight's episode for its message. Really? Look, I don't mind the environmental message. I really don't have a problem with that. But I just think it should be done in a way. Have you seen John Pertwee and the Green Death? They went into the whole environmental thing back then in 70, but they did it with a strong storyline, with very powerful characters. And there was tension in that episode. This lacked all of that. That is the problem. Look, I know a lot of stuff has PC in it now, but I ignore that. That's the world we live in. You know, there's going to be a load of stuff coming out. It's going to have a load of that in it. You know, why? I don't know. I'm not, But what I want content, and I want exciting characters. I want a decent story. I want to sit at the end of this series and be blown away by it and go and phone my mate up and go, "Did you watch tonight's episode?" And he goes, "Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it?" And it's in your mind for a couple of days after you're thinking about how good it is. Osman Bummer, yep. Ryan Copeland. Right. Oh, yes. Yeah, I read. Yes. Yeah, Ryan's gonna die. Yeah, and he been offered some TV series in America. I read an article on Facebook. He's going in some big TV series in America. He's Ryan. No, good luck. Good on him. I mean, he can't act in this, can he? But I mean, obviously, he's going to America, so good luck to the guy. He might become big star. I hope he does. Right, Coco Jake, because you know where tonight his girlfriend got vaporized by the Praxeus disease, yeah? The girl turned around and said to the doctor, "Can I travel with you sometime?" I wonder if she's going to be Ryan's replacement then. Does make you wonder, doesn't it? Retro Gamer, there's rumours that Ryan is leaving this season as he's signed on to a different program next year, so fingers crossed. He's going to America, Retro. He's off to America, apparently. We're on Facebook in some article that he's going in some TV series. Jude, I think environments are key aspects of the modern world, but post stories like of 55 practice undermine those. That's what I'm saying, yeah, Jude. That's what I'm saying. If you watch John Pertwee in The Green Death, it's like 5-6 episodes of the environment and this greedy corporation, but there's this intense story around it and the consequences of everything, which is really good, and that lacks it. That and off 55 lacked it. I respect it for the message because the environment affects all of us, but it's how they're delivering it and it's putting people off. But I could be wrong. That's only my opinion. If somebody might thought there'd be people that thought tonight's episode were amazing, and I don't. I'm not here to upset anybody, but it's just that's what I think. I mean, people might not agree with me. The actor who plays Ryan is fucking awful. He's terrible, and he can't act for shit, can he? And I've said this every week. He can't. That cheesy northern accent. Oh. Why say Callum Games? The Green Death. Yes, thank you. The Green Death is a classic Doctor Who, has always been a hit political. It's always done that matters. Political messages can be good if they're interested and not rammed at us by Chris Chibnall. I agree. You've hit it dead on, bud. Right on the nail. Right. Joe, the Green Death is a superb story. That's what I mean, Joe. And that were back in 1970s, you know. That were back in 1970s, you know, and it's a classic. I watched it about a couple of months ago, Green Death. And, you know, with the maggots and that big fly flying around and that greedy corporation and the villains and the doctor, you know, warning people. And they had them hippies that lived in that cottage, you know, and he created that fungus which sort of took it all out, you know. And then it was such a sad episode because we're having a party and Joe Grant were going to get married to him, wasn't she? And he just walked out of the house and got in his car. I don't think there were any music. He just drove off, you know, in Bessie. And you felt so sorry for him, didn't you, the doctor? You know, I really feel in that episode. You know, I love Pertwee. I miss him so much. I want Capaldi back. Osman, got to go. Good people of pre-party mode for the Super Bowl. Go Kansas City. Mate, you're going to get all the best trailers tonight. We won't be at the same till like 4 o'clock in the morning. So enjoy all them super cool trailers. I think you're going to get latest Black Widow trailer tonight. You know, and some other good stuff. So have a good one, bud. See you next week. The only good companion is Bradley. Yeah, no, I agree. Bradley definitely is my favourite. He is the best one. Yaz and Ryan I just can't be bothered with. I've noticed they've dropped Yaz's family now, haven't they? Retro Gamer Dev, simple answer. If I want info on the environment, so what will I do? I watch said programs for the info. I want a great sci-fi story. I'll watch if it needs, but I don't like the merge of the two. No, that's fair enough, bud. But I just think like that, you know, there's like Star Trek episodes where they did stuff in a fantastic episode, but there was like a model at the end of it, you know, which you thought, yeah, they've got a point there, but not like this. They're just ramming it down your throat, and I'm getting a bit sick. I've got a friend. She's quite, she's, you know, I totally respect. She's quite left with her views, and I respect that. But even she said this series, Doctor Who, she finds it patronising. Seriously. So they, you know, so it's not just. I think a lot of people. I've spoken to people and said some of the, especially with last season, they found it quite patronising. You know, people want decent content. You know. Why say Callum Games? Chris Chibnall's plan is to wreck the show by making it political to keep the minority happy and then run with money when the show gets cancelled. Well, I think Chibnall's far overrated. I really do. There's all these fantastic writers out there, you know, push boundaries, and we get twats like him. You know, that Chris Chibnall, honestly, I mean, you know, even Moffat, who nearly devastated the last series. Osman, cheers. Have a good one, bud. Enjoy Super Bowl. Jude H, at least the next time trailer was good. Apparently it's the Slovene, apparently, Jude. So that's going to be sort of interesting, you know, if it's Slovene. Spank me, Santa. Am I the only one that thought this episode wasn't that far with political stuff? Don't think it was like 55 where it's blatantly obvious. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't mind 55. I did praise some of it, you know, quite liked. I think it was the shock factor of it. I quite liked it, but it, you know, I don't know, it was a bit superior. To me, this episode, that episode, is like, tonight's episode could have been a prequel to Orphan 55. You know, but it was just... It's just after last week, wasn't it? I mean, you know, Captain Jack and rest of it. I don't think Captain Jack's coming back this season either. I think it was a one-off. PSK9 was the best companion. Well, trust me, I agree. You know, I'd rather have K9 back. Yes, the message was a lot more subtle than Orphan 55. It was. Well, I like the bit about the microplastics. I mean, which is, you know, that's on Sky. It's on Sky News, isn't it? I mean, it is on quite a lot about the microplastics. and I quite like that. I didn't mind that bit, but these aliens coming down using Earth as a petri dish, and I mean, I like that concept of that, but it could have been something a bit more insidious. You know what I mean? I mean, it was pointless of him crashing from space station. There was no need for that story. I liked it when it jumped around the world. At the beginning when they were jumping like to Madagascar and Hong Kong and Britain, and I liked all that because I thought it were going somewhere. When you were jumping to all these different people, I really did like that. Retro Gamer Dev, the Tenant era had my relevance of PGA when Martha asked, will I be okay when I went to the past? It's a back burner point, but not pushed to the forefront of the story. I'm a big fan of Tenant era. I thought he's been the best modern Doctor so far for me. I love David Tennant. I thought he was superb as the Doctor. And even the stories were good. I mean, there were one or two bad ones, but most of them were brilliant, Colin, man, it's amazing how these characters are able to understand. Yeah. It's amazing how these characters are able to understand a flying alien spaceship with no prior knowledge. Oh, and yes, is also science. Yeah, did you see them all? They were all like talking like, is the warp drive on and the neutron flow connected and all this. It was like, where did they get all the knowledge from? And then the police dude, he got in the spaceship and flew it into the atmosphere. I mean, it was all a bit. I mean, that was handy, wasn't it? Spank Me Sunset. Well, at least this season haven't been downright unwatchable like last season. No, I'd say this season's been, it's been a lot better this season, hasn't it? I definitely agree with you there. Yeah, this season. I mean, last season was just terrible. Last season was truly a nightmare. Retro, hang on. Retro Gamer. I think Captain Jack cameo was a bit smoke and mirrors to excite people over the drab stories. Yeah. Because if he's only... I read it. Apparently, we're on Twitter. Now, quote me if I'm wrong. I hope he is back. Because trust me, they need him to come back. That he was only... That's his appearance. That's it for this season. Unless they're planning some big story out with him for the next season. I mean, just to put him in it for 5 minutes was just pointless. I really do hope he is back. But apparently... Captain Jack's not coming back. So, but quote me if I'm wrong. Spank Me Sunset. The Tenant, Russell T. Davies, era also established the science and the rules of the universe and kept it consistent throughout too, which is what I love. Yeah. I like Russell T. Davies. I thought he wrote some great stuff. It was a shame when he left. But, Russell T. Davies, he brought it back, if it weren't for him. I'm not going to knock him. Russell T. Davies is a great writer. I like what he did with the Tennant, Eccleston and Matt Smith Doctors. I really do like what he did. And Capaldi were excellent. I think there were some Matt Smith stories that were terrible, but I did like Matt Smith, but Tennant were superb. I like Dave the Doctors. I'm a big fan of that. I watched it over Christmas, actually. Jude, I think this episode could have been so much better if the scale was bigger. It should have shown us why we were supposed to fear Praxeus and shown the viewers more of its impacts around the world. Well, Jude, that's what I thought. Because, when it started, you were getting all these different people. You got the astronaut coming down from International Space Station. Then we were in Madagascar. Then over to Hong Kong. And then in Britain. And there were all these different people. And, the cop guy who arrested that dude in Pound Shop and and all that. There were all these characters. They were all in different parts of the world. And I thought, and then the Doctor suddenly appeared, with the dead birds and the rubbish tip. And the first, I'd say first 10, 15 minutes, there was a lot going on. And it could have been so much more. And then rest of it was a letdown. It really was a letdown. Tennant Rusty also stopped. Yeah, I've read that. Sorry. I finished episode of Scale. No, I agree totally. Retro, maybe the 14th Doctor's era episode could start with the Doctor waking up from a bad nightmare from an alien infection. If Chibnall can retcon the law, so can a future writer. Well, yeah. Yeah, I'd just get rid of Chibnall, bud, and get some decent writers. I mean, the writers are out there. They do exist. Spank me, Santa. I hated Matt Smith. Can say Wilder's line, but it was just not my style. No, I one or two of my friends weren't big fans of Matt Smith. I were half and half with Matt Smith. I think I like the Pandorica trilogy. The old Pandorica thing. I really did. But what annoyed me about that was the Amy and Rory thing. At the beginning, our friend the Doctor, we all go off wandering the universe. You remember when they had that little intro with them? We're both happily married at work, but the Doctor turns up at the weekend and we go on adventures. All that really pissed me off. I mean, I want the Doctor, but I watched Time Flight. I bought the Peter Davison box set, the off Amazon. And I watched Time Flight, and it was an interesting episode. At the end, you remember Tegan Javenka, the Australian assistant? Well, there was Nissa. Doctor got it time. He just went off and left her. He had no qualms about it. He just cleared off in TARDIS and left her behind. I know she returned later on, but he didn't think about it. He just went off and left her on Earth. That's what I like about the Doctor. About there was that scene with Billy. You remember Billy and the Doctor, and he said to her, I'll never die. He said, you'll get older, I won't. That David Tennant really played that about this Time Lord who is lonely, and you really touch on the alienness of his character, and we just seem to be losing that now. These are qualities that made the Doctor stand out for me. Spank me, Santa. Every episode of River Song was good, and a few others. Didn't like much of the rest. So I did like River Song. I really did like River Song. I thought Alex, the actress that played, was really good. Retro Gamer. Interesting. I really didn't like Matt Smith after 10. I was major into the 10th Doctor, but I warmed to Matt Smith. Same thing when Capaldi took over. Do with Matt Smith, I think the writing let down a few of his episodes, but I did prefer. I'd put Tennant over Matt Smith for me. But it took me a while. I sort of got used to Matt Smith after a while. I don't jump on his episodes a lot. If I'm going back, I either go back to classics or I liked Eccleston. I really always thought Eccleston could have done a second season. He should have done. I really like the redemption of the Doctor. And he brought that beautifully, But Matt Smith, he was good, but it took a while to get there. Capaldi, I just loved him. I really did like Capaldi. For some reason, he reminded me of Pertwee somehow. I just really I miss Capaldi. I just thought he was just so bloody good. He's in David Copperfield now. Every time I see it trailer, I keep reading the Doctors in Victorian times. Spank me, I like Capaldi straight away. Every episode he owned it, even if the writing. He did write it. Do you remember that one where he went to Scarrow and there was that little kid in the hand mines and all the mans came out of the ground with eyeballs on. They were all like, they grab you, and that little kid, and Doctor up at TARDIS said, what's your name? To the kid, and he's got a rifle, and he goes, Davros. That was just spectacular, wasn't it, that? Davros as a kid. And that's what I mean, that is Doctor Who. That, with the weird hands that came out of the ground with the eyeballs. They were like in like a minefield. That that was just brilliant. That is Doctor Who to me. Spank me Santa. Heaven sent me where it was just 15 minutes of pure Capaldi. Damn, that was the stuff of dream. I agree. Capaldi he just hammered it. He should have stayed on. Another season. Look, Jodie Whittaker's. I like Jodie Whittaker. She's a lovely person, and she's a great actress. And I like it when she gets so wacky in this. But to me, I don't know if it's the Doctor. But let's see. Apparently it's. By the end of this season, is she going to define it? So we'll have to wait and see. Well, we've got 4 episodes to go. Colony of South Estate. Yes, yeah, definitely. Right, I've been on 45 minutes, guys, and that's the end of the stream till next week. Right, no, tonight, thanks for tuning in, guys. I will be on after next week's episode. Let's hopefully we get the build again for the next 4 episodes to go now, and it's got to, how do you say, improve itself. You know what I mean? So I will see you all next Sunday, and keep up the faith, guys. Doctor Who. There will be a Picard thing Friday. I'll be watching and reviewing that. The Solo One podcast will be later next week, and live Doctor Who stream. Right, guys, you've all been awesome as usual. I think we're sort of hopefully we're getting there with the old Doctor Who thing. You're right, Retro. I'll see you next week for another moan. Might as well call this the morning show, honestly. No, you're right, bud, you are right. It needs to improve, just like Man City. Right then, guys, have a great week. It's good to hear from just some guy, but I have to go now. But yeah, bit of a disappointment this week, So right then, guys, awesome stream again. I will see you all next week. Have a great week, and live long and prosper. Keep the faith. I'm still here.